Filed tonight, Sarah Sanders, White House press secretary, just pulled a liberal fast one. And as a conservative woman, I have to say something about it. Let's start from the beginning. The nomination of 33-year intelligence veteran Gina Haspel to the CIA has led to a broad range of scrutiny ahead of her confirmation hearing this week. Now, I happen to believe Haspel should face rigorous questioning in her hearing, but that she is eminently qualified despite her role in the Bush-era enhanced interrogation program, now illegal, that still proves controversial today. But some are suggesting that her participation in a program that was deemed constitutional at the time by the president, the Department of Justice, and Congress should be disqualifying today. Among those lines of scrutiny, there is the principled opposition. Glenn Greenwald tweeted that while she did not act alone, George Tenet, John Brennan, Mike Pompeo have also supported these black site interrogation programs. It's, quote, still notable she's an actual torturer. Then there's the preening opposition. Senator Rand Paul, whose aversion to enhanced interrogation was supposed to keep him from confirming Mike Pompeo as Secretary of State until it didn't, touted a false ProPublica report later retracted to accuse Haspel of being gleeful in her defense of torture. We'll see this week if a call from the president changes Senator Paul's mind on Haspel, too. There's also the feminist opposition, which makes the case that Haspel, who would become the first woman CIA director, is nonetheless bad for women because of her participation in these programs, but also because of Trump. As Mona Eltahawy writes in the New York Times, Mr. Trump is certainly no friend of women. However many women he chooses to promote in his patriarchal government, he is no feminist. Feminism, as I see it, is not about counting women in key jobs. Of course, the left likes to have it both ways, telling us earnestly and often that we do, in fact, need to count women in key jobs because we bring important perspectives to boardrooms, Congress, and so forth. But electing the first woman president or women governors or appointing women to top posts, that only seems meaningful if they support liberal viewpoints. But none of these critiques of Haspel, some entirely fair and some convoluted by politics, are as problematic as the defense of her by Sarah Sanders. Over the weekend, Sanders, taking a page from her boss, tried to bully opponents into submission by playing the woman card, and not even that effectively. There is no one more qualified to be the first woman to lead the CIA than 30-plus-year CIA veteran Gina Haspel, she tweeted. Any Democrat who claims to support women's empowerment and our national security but opposes her nomination is a total hypocrite. Wait, what? That's not how any of this works. But it's also the kind of thing conservatives rightly mock and criticize liberals for doing all the time. For starters, if there's no one more qualified than Haspel, why make it about women at all? This directly undercuts the argument Sanders should be making, which is that Haspel is simply the best person for the job. Next, there is a gaping chasm between supporting women's empowerment and supporting every policy or position any woman takes just because she's a woman. Democrats as well as Republicans are, of course, free to express their concerns about policies Haspel might support without endangering the empowerment of women or even of this particular woman. Finally, none of that is hypocritical. In fact, it's the opposite. For a Democrat who claims to support women's empowerment to nonetheless oppose Haspel, a woman, is at its worst partisan, but at its best principled. Sarah, as conservative women, let's not do the thing where we pit identity against ideology. Let's leave that to the left, which insists you and I are traitors to our gender, or that racial minorities who vote Republicans are traitors to their race, or that conservative millennials are traitors to their generation. You should know better than to pick up the left's talking points and use our political identities as a weapon